Hi, and welcome back to Three Questions. I am joined today by Todd Dowling from the Putney School. Hi, Todd.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. So we have three questions for you. Are you ready for the three questions?
I am.
Wonderful. So the first question, could you tell us what your student to faculty ratio is and how that benefits your students?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to understand this question here at Putney, classes are capped at 16 students. So a packed classroom would have 16 students in it. And we have in our day additional time called conference block, which is essentially academic office hours, where students can, even in that classroom of 16, if they need additional time as themselves or as a group to go and see the teacher, that's actually built into the academic schedule. So how it benefits our students, generally our students are known by the faculty. The faculty see them, they see their strengths, they are able to communicate more honestly, more openly, because they have that rapport with each kid in their class. And again, that is a cap of 16. There are plenty of classes that might have 8 to 10 students, and I would say generally about 12 students is pretty normal.
Nice class size there. All right. So, question two: could you talk about accessibility on campus at Putney for those who have mobility issues?
Yeah, so we are a rural farm school. Our campus originally started as a dairy farm, and a lot of our buildings are still like that. Anytime we build new buildings, we have two brand new dorms. We're about to have two brand new classrooms. And anytime we're building or updating, we are adding elevators, we are adding much more accessibility. And yet our roots are still on an old rural farmhouse, so there are parts of campus that can be a challenge. But we work with every family to support them as best as we can while being honest with some potential limitations. And there are certain spaces that would be a challenge, such as maybe the ceramics studio. But there are absolutely accessible dorms, accessible classrooms, and the food where we eat is called the KDU, and the KDU is accessible as well.
Wonderful. And our last question, could you tell us about opportunities that students have to do experiential learning, internships, co-ops, travel abroad, and other things going on at Putney?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with our travel abroad program. We offer travel abroad experiences that are 2 to 3 weeks in length. We go to England regularly to a sister school called B-Dales, and then we go to Cuernavaca, Mexico, which is a place we've been going for years. Both of those places we've had relationships for a very long time. And then there's year-to-year trips as well, including study abroad within the U.S. Like we do a trip down to the borderlands to kind of study immigration and to study the U.S. border, which is within the United States, but still a very different world. The border in Arizona is a very different world than rural Vermont. And there's experiences that pop up, given a faculty interest year in or year out. But the Mexico trip and the England trip are generally our standard ones. We offer something called Project Week. That is 2 10-day periods of time, so a total of 20 days, where students propose their own project and launch in their own project. And it is not a requirement that you need to be on campus for that project. And so that is the time where students might do a shadowing. Maybe last spring, we had a student who is now at UVM's nursing program who wanted to shadow and went down to the local Brattleboro hospital and shadowed. And the thing is that it's student run and it's student built. So it's really about that student proposing an idea and then working with their faculty sponsor to make it happen. So if you want to do an internship, if you want to do a shadowing, there is less of a program here that is built for the student and the student signs up, and there's much more of a culture here where the student just says out loud, I'm interested in this, how can I make that happen? And that could be in car mechanic or nursing or rocket science, whatever it is. We work hard to try to get that student connected either in person or virtually with the the resource that will best suit their interest.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And that concludes our three questions. So, Todd, I want to thank you for joining us, and I want to thank all of you who are watching for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Have a great day.